Dear viewers, I am very proud to welcome you all back to the class of day 2 of poem Ulysses by Alfred Tennyson. In the day 1, we discussed the lines from 1 to 32. There we have learnt what Ulysses said to himself. Now, in the day 2, we are going to learn the remaining stanzas. Now, we are entering the second part of the poem. The following lines are spoken by Ulysses to the readers. This is my son, mine own Telemachus, to whom I leave the sceptre and the isle, well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labour by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Ulysses introduces his son Telemachus to us. To him, he is going to leave, that is, hand over his sceptre. Sceptre means a decorated rod carried by a king or queen. தமிழில் செங்கோல் என்று கூறுவோம். Also, Ulysses is going to hand over his isle. Isle means island. Here it means his own country, Ithaca. Well loved of me means he is very much loved by Ulysses. That is, Telemachus is very much loved by his father Ulysses. Discerning means able to show good judgment. Labor means work. Prudence means wisdom and knowledge. Rugged means rude or violent people. Subdue means to bring somebody under control. Ulysses says that his son Telemachus is now able to fulfill the work. The work here means to rule over his country Ithaca. Telemachus knows how to make his country people mild by showing his prudence, that is wisdom. Ulysses also says Telemachus can subdue, that is, he can bring all his people under his own control through his soft degrees, that is, through his soft manners. He can make the rude people useful and good. முரடர்களை கூட பயன்மிக்க நல்ல மக்களாக மாற்றும் திறன் மிக்கவன் இந்த Telemachus. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties, decent not to fail in offices of tenderness, and pay meet adoration to my household gods when I am gone. He works his work, I mine. Ulysses proudly says that his son Telemachus is blameless. No one can find a fault with him. He is the center of his common duties of his region. He is very decent, and so he cannot fail in any of his duties. He is always ready to do the duties of common people. Offices of tenderness means he will do his office duties with tender-hearted, that is, with kind-hearted. Adoration means a great love or worship. Ulysses says Telemachus will meet and pay his tribute to the household gods after Ulysses is gone for traveling. Household gods means gods worshipping in the house by generations. அதாவது குலதெய்வங்கள் என்று பொருள்படும். Ulysses finally says he will do his work in his own way, as well as Telemachus will do his work in his own way. Thus, Ulysses completes his speech to his son. From the following stanzas onwards, he is going to speak to his soldiers, mariners, sailors, and so on. Let us listen to him. Just pay your attention to Ulysses. There lies the port, The vessel puffs her sail. There gloom the dark, broad seas. Port means harbor. Vessel refers to ship. Puffs means emits or sends smoke to the clouds. Her refers to ship. Here it means the ship in the harbor is getting ready for the travel. Ulysses says to his mariners that the harbor is ready in front of them and the ship in it emits smoke for making its sail, that is travel. Gloom means darkness. He also says that the sea which is broad and dark gives a complete darkness. My mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine and opposed. Toiled means worked hard. Wrought means caused something to happen. அதாவது நடந்து முடிந்த ஏதோ ஒரு விளைவிற்கான காரணமாய் அமைந்திருப்பது. The verb wrought is used only in the past tense. There is no simple present for this verb. In olden days, this verb wrought was used as the past tense of the verb work, but not now. Ulysses calls his mariners, that is, sailors and soldiers, whose souls have thought alike Ulysses thought, and who have worked hard with Ulysses, and who have wrought, that means who would be the reason for all of his victories, especially winning over the Trojan people. Frolic means a lively and enjoyable activity during which people forget their problems and responsibilities. கடமைகளையும் கஷ்டங்களையும் மறந்து மக்கள் இன்புற்று இருக்கும் ஒரு உயிரோட்டமான மற்றும் மகிழ்ச்சிகரமான நிகழ்வு. Thunder and sunshine refer to bad and good times respectively. The mariners, while they are with Ulysses, they both welcome and oppose the thunder and the sunshine, that is, bad and good things, though they are facing many problems and they are under many responsibilities. They could now face hardships as free and self-reliant men and welcome it with a smile. They are able to accept both success and failure. Neither success nor failure could change them and distract them from their moral responsibilities. Free hearts, free foreheads, you and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil. Death closes all. But something ere the end, some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The sailors have both free hearts, that is, free mind, without having any vengeance, and free foreheads, that is, free thought, having the abilities to decide anything cleverly. The term you refers to sailors. The term I refers to Ulysses. Ulysses says that both the sailors and he himself have become old age. Hath is an archaic term which means has. His refers to a man who is old. By saying old age hath yet his honor and his toil, Ulysses suggests that though old people are respected, they also have responsibilities. Year means before. It is a universal fact that everyone in this world should meet death when his or her time ends. So, Ulysses opines, that is, expresses his opinion that before they face death and before their time ends, they must do something useful. That is, they must perform any noble task. Here, Ulysses means they should start their travel as the ship is awaiting in the dark and broad sea, and they need not bother about their old age. The words not and unbecoming both are negative that give a positive meaning. It means they are becoming men like men of strength and worthy, because in the war of Troy they fought with many warriors who were equal to gods. That is why Ulysses says they strove, that is, they challenged and fought with gods. Strove is the simple past of strive, which means to try hard to achieve something. Thus, they have become strong men. The pathetic condition is the sailors do not realize their strength as they have become old. Ulysses' main purpose is to stimulate their mind and make them understand that though they are old now, they do not lose much of their strength. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs. The deep moans round with many voices. Wanes means decreases or disappears. Moans means groans, that is, sounds expressing unhappiness. Ulysses tells his soldiers that the lights in the deepest rocks begin to twinkle, that is, begin to shine. They are now able to see the vision of the farthest lands. By saying long day, he means that the long daytime. The long daytime wanes now, that is, it is disappearing. In the horizon, they also see the moon slowly climbs, and thus the night time begins. The word the deep means the sea. He says the sea moans around with many voices, that is, with many sounds. The wind and the waves of the sea murmur and grumble. Come, my friends, it is not too late to seek a newer world. Ulysses suggests that this is the right time to start their journey. So, he summons every soldiers to make their journey by addressing them friends. He asks them to come and start their journey and also consoles them it is not too late to search a newer world. Push off and sitting well in order smite the surrounding furrows. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. Push off is a phrasal verb which means to move away from a land in a boat. Smite means strike or hit. Furrows means mark made in the water by ship. As the time is not too late, Ulysses urges his sailors to move away from his land, that is island Ithaca, and asks them to sit on the boat well and comfortably so that they can smite, that is hit the surrounding furrows. It insists that they have to face all the violent waves of the sea bravely. The word for literally means because. Baths means outer ocean or river that the Greeks believed to surround the flat earth. Ulysses urges his soldiers because his purpose is before he dies he must sail and go beyond the sunset, and he should reach the land which is in the outer ocean and beyond the western stars. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Gulf means a large area of sea that is partly surrounded by land. Ulysses says, perhaps the gulfs in the sea will wash them, that means will make them die. Happy Isles means a fortunate island situated in the Atlantic Ocean, popularly known as Greek paradise. Achilles is the greatest of Greek warriors. As an infant, his mother dipped into the river Styx, which made him invulnerable. That means immortal everywhere, but that is except the feet by which she held him. Here we have to go back again to understand who this Achilles is. We have already seen there were many Greek warriors took place in the Trojan War. The main protagonist of this war is Achilles.
This is my man. Achilles!
Achilles has a special boon that his entire body except his one heel was immortal. No one could kill him. அதாவது ஆக்கிலீஸ் இறப்பில்லாத சாகா வரம் பெற்றவன். அவனை கொல்ல வேண்டுமென்றால் அவனுடைய ஒரு குதிகாலில் தாக்க வேண்டும். There is another story behind this. When Achilles was born, his mother dipped him in the holy river named Styx by holding his one heel. The river has a special feature that if the water touches anywhere in our body, that part will become immortal. If we have a holy dip in the river, our entire body will become immortal. Then we will never meet death. That is why Achilles became immortal like God. The weakness of him was his one heel, because that part only did not enter the river as it was in the hand of his mother. In the Trojan War, he fought bravely and killed the greatest Greek villain Hector.
Now you know who you're fighting. stone take my glory.
He brought victory to the Greek. He died when the prince of Troy, Paris, shot him in the heel with an arrow. Now, according to Greek mythology, it is believed that this Achilles, who is equal to God, lives in the happy island. Thus, Ulysses says with a little confidence that they will reach the happy island where their great legendary hero Achilles lives. They all know him very well. Yes, now we too. Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. Abides means remains. Though much is taken away from the soldiers, much remains with them. They haven't to lose anything large. They do not have strength like in their old days. Ulysses motivates his soldiers that once they were young, especially during the war of Troy, they could move the earth and heaven. It literally means they all put their hard work and achieve something great. That much strength they had. But now they need not worry about that. Despite their old age, they should realize that their spirit is young and undaunted. That means they must realize they are still enthusiastic. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Ulysses finally states that they have equal temper, that is, power, and the heroic hearts. Though they are made weak by the time and their destiny, they are strong in will. They have strong determination. With these qualities, they can strive, that is, they can work hard. They can seek, that is, they can search a newer world. They can find a happy island, but they should not yield, that is, they should not surrender themselves to anybody, and they should not give up their effort for any reason. Students, with this, we have successfully completed our fourth poem, Ulysses. Now, just for a few more minutes, I will recall you the entire poem. The central theme of Ulysses is that there is a search for adventures, experience, and meaning, which makes life worth living. Ulysses is unwilling to discharge his duties as a king, as he longs for travel. He is filled with an unquenchable thirst for adventure and wishes to live life to the fullest. He has traveled far and wide, gaining knowledge of various places, cultures, men, and matters. He recalls with delight his experience at the Battle of Troy. Enriched by his experience, he longs for more, and his quest seems endless. Like metal, which would rust if unused, life without adventure is meaningless. According to him, living is not merely breathing to stay alive. Though old but zestful, Ulysses looks at every hour as a bringer of new things and years to follow knowledge even if it is unattainable. Ulysses desires to hand over his kingdom to his son Telemachus, who would fulfill his duties towards his subjects with care and prudence. Telemachus possesses passions and has the will to civilize the citizens of Ithaca in a tender way. Ulysses is happy that his son would do his work blamelessly and he would pursue his quest for travel and knowledge. Ulysses beckons his sailors to gather at the port where the ship is ready to sail. His companions, who have faced both thunder and sunshine with a smile, are united by their undying spirit of adventure. Though death would end everything, Ulysses urges his companions to join him and sail beyond the sunset and seek a newer world, regardless of consequences. These brave hearts, who had once moved heaven and earth, may have grown old and weak physically, but their spirit is young and undaunted. His call is an inspiration for all those who seek true knowledge and strive to lead meaningful lives. Let us see only the important figures of speech employed in the poem. First, to follow knowledge like a sinking star. The preposition like is used here, so the figure of speech is simile. For always roaming with a hungry heart. Here, the human heart is compared to an animal that is hungry. So, the figure of speech is metaphor. And drunk delight of battle with my peers. Drunk delight of battle. Here, the preposition of is used. So, there is a metaphor. Yet, all experience is an arch, wherethrough. Here, experience is compared to an arch. So, the figure of speech is a metaphor. The thunder and the sunshine are opposed. The words thunder and sunshine refer to worst and the best time of a human being. The figure of speech is metaphor. Thunder is compared to worst time and sunshine is compared to best time. Through scudding drifts, the rainy Hades vexed the dim sea. Here the figure of speech is personification, because the group of stars Hades vexed, that is, upset the dim sea. Only a human can upset somebody. Here the poet says the inanimate things, that is, the group of stars, upset the sea. So the figure of speech is personification. The deep moans round with many voices. Here also personification. The poet says that the deep, that is, the sea moans. Moans means makes a low grumble sound which expresses sad thought. There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail. Here also the figure of speech is personification, because the term her refers to the ship. To whom I leave the sceptre and the isle. There are two figures of speech employed in this line. The first one is imagery, because if you hear the terms sceptre and isle, you can visually see these two terms. Sceptre means a decorated rod carried by a king or queen. In Tamil, Sengol. Isle means island. Here it refers Ulysses' own country, Ithaca. The other figure of speech employed in this line is synecdoche. The figure of speech synecdoche means a word or phrase in which a part of something is used to represent a whole, or a whole is used to represent a part of something. அதாவது முழு பகுதியையும் குறிப்பிடாமல் அதனை சார்ந்த ஏதோ ஒரு சிறு பகுதியை மட்டும் குறிப்பிட்டு முழு அர்த்தத்தையும் கொண்டு வருவது. தமிழில் இதனை ஆகுபெயர் என்று கூறுவோம். The poet uses the term sceptre, which is the symbol of ruling the country. Instead of telling ruling the country, the poet uses only a part, that is the term sceptre. Thus, the figure of speech synecdoche is employed in this line. All mythological characters and things used in this poem are allusions. Allusions is something that is said or written that refers to or mentions another person or subject in an indirect way. Remember students, the entire poem is a dramatic monologue which drops light on the life of Greek hero Ulysses. My dear sweet children, this is the time to wind up this session. I hope I have made you learn this poem better. This is Nageswaran. Thank you for your watching till the end.